Shabbat Shalom, and you are welcome to the Shabbat of this morning. We have two Parashah this morning, Hukkat and Balak, which is, we call it Parshot, Hukkat and Balak. That is the Parashah of this morning. And also, I subtitle the Parashah of this morning, or the Parshot, the Parashot of this morning, I subtitle it, the principle of possibility. I subtitle it, the principle of possibility. It is very, very important for us to understand what is the principle of possibility. This is the statute of the Torah, the reversing of sin, which is impurity, into mitzvoth, which is purity, through repentance. This week will be completed, this start will be completed by Mashiach, and in so doing, the name of the Holy One, blessed be He, will be united. Let me break it down. This is the decree of the Torah. Remember I said that it's different between a decree and a statute. And a law. Okay? A decree is what normally they use a decree in the time of war. Normally, the military regime use a decree. A decree is when the president just come and say, this is what we're going to do. That is it. No, you don't. You cannot say no. No debate. A law, on the other hand, a law will have them, like for example, in the parliament or in the Congress. They debate. One person debate, another people debate. Oh, which is good, which is good. They arrange and say, okay, this is the final one. And then they vote the first reading, the second reading, the third reading. Then they agree, and now they pass it as a law. But in the case of a decree, there is no debate. No debate. The president said, this is it, and that is it. That is all. No question asked. You cannot ask a question. So that is the difference between a law and a decree. And now God is talking about a decree. This is a decree of the Torah, the decree of HaTorah. You cannot do what? You cannot argue against it. You just have to do exactly what you are commanded. Yes, technically it doesn't make sense if we want to rationalize it in everything that God has talked about in this Parashah Hukkat. It's very complicated. Even though, as I said, that Shlomo Hamelech does not even understand it. The man that has all the knowledge and all the wisdom, he couldn't rationalize it in his mind. How come a holy man will touch something that is holy, and this thing that is holy make him unholy? And when he uses the same thing to touch somebody who is unholy, the person becomes holy. Where's the sense there? I don't get it. I don't understand it. So it doesn't, in our own eyes, it doesn't make sense. But God said, just do it. That is it. When the time comes, I explain. Not now. So we need to understand it is very, very complicated. Especially, this is one of the most advanced mystery of the Torah, that we have no idea why God asked us to do this. But God said this is an eternal decree for you and your generation forever. You have to continue to do it. According to the Talmud, in the Talmud, we said that we have killed 9 of Para Adama. 9. So we have the final one, the 10th one. The final one, that is when the final one is going to be killed, then according to our sages, according to our wise men, then the Mashiach will come. Or maybe the Mashiach will be the one to kill the final one. So we have already killed 9, okay? But the final one is what we are waiting for. The final one will be maybe the time of the judgment, so that when the final one will be killed. So I just want to quickly give us an understanding before I go down to Parashah Hukkat. I just want to quickly talk about the Parashah Balak. The Parashah Balak, we understand who this man is. Balak is the king of Moab at that time. And he was afraid of the children of Israel because they were so numerous, they were so many. He said, oh, these people have come to do what? To kill me, to destroy me, to take my land. Well, how do you know? The Israel didn't come and say, I'm going to fight against you, I'm going to take up your land. No, but you just assume within your own mind and within your own self because you are evil. You say, oh, they're going to take my land and they're going to kill everybody. They're going to lick the whole grass like the what? Like the animal lick the earth. I mean, these people are dangerous people. They are evil people. That is what is sold to his people. Let's fight against them and destroy them. But I have heard what Israel did to the what? To the people, to the king of Bashan, to Og. I have heard what he did to the Amorites, right? To Sihon, king of the Amorites. And these people are so mighty than me. How much more me? Then these people will do what? They will kill me. But I have an idea. I know a man. He's a prophet. And this man is a very dangerous man. This man is a prophet for profit. Once you give him the money, the prophecy is yours. Don't worry. I have the money. I have the gold. I have everything. I will give to him. I will buy his service. That's what it means. I will buy his service. Let him come and cause Israel for me, so that I can destroy them in the battle. Remember, people think that war is physical. Now we are thinking in our mind that war is a physical fight. Hey, one country against another country, one town against another town, one people against another people. In those days, no. In those days, war is spiritual, very deep. It's not just a physical attack, which army is the strongest. No. They use all means possible to fight, every means. It doesn't care, because now it is my life or your life. So they use every means possible to defend themselves, including spiritual means. Right? And we can remember also during even though in the 21st century, or sorry, 20th century, let me say, during the Second World War, right? People say, oh, Hitler. We have no idea of how the Soviet Union also even won. Right? Because the Soviet people think that the Soviet Union is a kind of a nation that they are what? Anti-God. They are these atheists. That is the idea in the West. That they are atheists, they don't love God, they hate God, it's the iron curtain, blah, blah, blah. They are red people, red flag, blah, blah, blah. But according to the history, when Hitler was about like 200 or some 25 kilometers from Moscow, and Joseph Stalin saw, hey, this is heating up, this fire on the mountain. What did he do? He went to go and call the same people, the Orthodox, that he was fighting. He went to go and call them. Yeah. And they said they took something, they do their rituals, whatever they want to do, and rain begins to fall. Rain, poo, and the tanks of the German was hooked in the mud. They couldn't advance to the front. They tried, but he couldn't. And while they got stuck in the mud, the Russians were just killing them like chicken. You have to understand. War is hard, it's tough, but it is not only physical. It is spiritual too. The same thing that is going on here. Balak has an idea. I have a prophet for profit. I give him money. I tell him what to do. He do it for me. That is it. And we still have Balak or Balaam till this present day. We have a lot of pastors. We have a lot of rabbis who are prophet for profit. You give them money. They tell you what you do. You want to hear. They will never tell you, repent, for the kingdom of God is at hand. No. But they don't even care where you get your money from. Are you a fraudster? Continue doing your fraudster. God bless you. Are you a killer? Continue to kill. God bless you. Are you a person that rob? Continue to rob. No problem. As far as you give them the money. No problem. But remember the Torah of Moshe. The Torah of Moshe said, it shall not be well. Woe is the man. It shall not be well for that man that know the truth and refuse to say the truth. And what the Torah said it's tough. You need to understand. A man that know the truth and refuse to say the truth, woe to that man. The man, woe meaning, is going to face the consequence of his action when the time comes. God will never hold him guiltless. He will never be guiltless. He has a guilt, for he knows the truth, but he refuses to say it. So, this man invited Balaam, and we can see in the story, he made all kinds of rituals. He made us, and you understand, the Talmud gave us the understanding that Balaam is of the same level with who? With Moshe in the spiritual realm. This is the negative side of Moshe, and Moshe is a positive side. Balaam is a negative side. You need to understand, he's so advanced that this man, anything that comes out of his mouth will happen exactly the way he said it. It will never be undone. It will be binding. It's binding. And that's what God said. Remember what I told you? You shall speak what I tell you, what I put in your mouth. Even though there is some understanding among my people that Balaam want to say the opposite to appease Balak, but God has already taken control of his mind. He doesn't know what he's speaking. God took control of his essence, his own being. So this is what you're going to speak. But because he needs money, he needs gold. To him, he doesn't care who he calls. He doesn't care. But just let me get the money. To me, the most important is the wealth, is the recognition, is the fame. That is it. But God said, no. These people are blessed. They cannot be cursed. For the angel of the Lord goes before them to protect them, to guide them, to keep them. The angels of the Lord lift them up upon his mighty wings, and he covered them with his wings. We need to understand this. Israel is special. Israel is different. Israel is not like the nations. It can never mix. That's what he said. Even that what Balaam said. These are solitary people. When we sing Matovu, Matovu is the blessing of Balaam. That's what Balaam said. These people they are different people. They can never mix. They can never be assimilated. They are like oil and water. Never. Leave them alone on their own. They are solitary. They are holy people. They are different. So that, and we can see in our life now that presently we see the idea of people, and it gave Balak an idea. You cannot conquer them. Spiritually, you can't conquer them. They are different people, but you can also deal with them. How can I deal with them now? He said, take your girls, your fine girls, let them go and entice their men, and they will sin. And that will happen. They sin, and God begins to deal with them. So we need to understand this. The enemy is very trickish. The enemy is very smart. We also have to be smarter than him. That's what God is saying. We have to be smarter. And we see the idea of living your own faith, going to the other faith, because the dominant faith. I live everything of my father's. The thing that my father did is wrong. Now I grow up. Now I am grown. I'm a PhD holder. I have an idea. So science is my God now. I have an idea. Money is my God now. I have an idea. All these things that my father has said, the Torah, forget about that. Only the poor man study the Torah. I want to be rich. I want to do everything possible to be rich by all means. See, this idea is what we know as Balak. It's a Balak idea, or the idea of Balaam. Go and entice them with something. Let them remove their focus on the Torah. Let them remove their focus from worshiping God. And once they remove their attention from worshiping God, the God that they serve will destroy them with his own hand. You see? That will happen. You see, once you remove your attention from God, when you begin to worship other gods, then God will get angry with you. And you face the consequence. You see? So this is what we have to understand. We have a lot of Israelites, a lot of Hebrew people that have gone to the other side, to the negative side. They say, you know what? I want to go and marry this woman. Then they marry the woman and they see fire. And they now cry. But they told you, do not marry. He said, no. It's a what? It's a Jamaican man. Or it's a Jamaican woman. Oh, no. He's from Germany. He's a German. The German, they are very, And when the woman begin to do that for you, you get mad. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying my wife is different. My wife is a French woman. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that to intermarry is wrong. That's not what I am saying. What I am saying, what God is saying, is that when you marry a woman or a man, and you allow that person to lure you, to remove you from your faith, that is where the problem is. As an Israelite man, I will not depart from my faith, not because of a woman. That will never happen. That will never happen. I will never depart from the path of the Torah. If I want to marry a woman, I say, do you want to before I marry my wife, do you want to follow the Torah? We. Okay, good. You don't want to follow the Torah, pack your load and leave. For me, I will never depart from the Torah. That is it. That is my foundation. That is my feet. That is where I was raised up. Why should I depart from it? The path of justice, the path of truth. So that's what I'm saying. But if you want to marry a man, and you ask the man, oh, you know what? My father raised me in the path of the Torah. Do you want to follow the Torah? And the man said, no, I don't like. It's not about religion. God does not create religion. It's about faith. This is the faith of our fathers. The faith that was given to us from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's a chain reaction. It passes down. Right? And the man tell you, oh, you know what? Don't worry. I don't like all these things. Pack your load and run. Because that man will make you to sin against God. So we need to understand it is very, very important that if people that will remove you from following God, we will never allow that. So that is just the experimental of that's just the short message for Balak. And now we are going to Hukkat. That's the main food of this morning. The Parsha detail major events that occurred to the children of Israel in these wilderness years. The death of prophetess Miriam, the punishment of Moshe and Aaron for striking the rock to bring forth water, the death of Aaron the Kohen Gadol. Imagine how difficult a week, so to speak, this was for Moshe Rabbeinu. He lost both his sister and his brother in the same Parshot. It was Miriam that stood by the bank of the river, watching over Moshe when Moshe was young. It was Miriam that restored Moshe back to what? To his mom. See, Miriam meant a lot to Moshe Rabbeinu. Imagine a man that lost his sister, the older sister, and lost the older brother in one parasha. That is a lot. So technically, the man is mine. I'm not saying he lost them in the same day, but in the same parasha. It might be some week or some year apart. But even though with such, it's very heavy. It's a lot for this man in one particular parasha. You know that, and the punishment that God punished him. That, you know what? Because of your not listening to me, you will do what? You will not enter into the promised land. Remember, I always said that to whom much is given, much is expected. If you are if you have PhD in mathematics, right, and they ask you 2xy plus 2x squared plus y squared equal x so. What is the answer? And you say, oh, or they tell you, oh, let me even make it simple. You have a PhD, and they ask you 2 plus 3, for example, and you say, oh, 2 plus 3 is easy. 2 plus 3 is 5 squared. How come it's 5 squared? Where is the square there? You say, oh, no, I can explain to you. Then you have a problem as a PhD holder, right, in mathematics. So the same thing here. Moshe has a PhD in the understanding of God. And God told him, go speak to the rock. Because of anger. Because of uncontrolled emotion. Must I get you water out of the rock? Oh, wait. What is going on here? Must I get you water out of the rock? Now there's a problem here. Who is the I? That's pride. That is what? Ego. Because you never do nothing. God does all things. God is just using you. You are not the one that bring the water out. No. God bring the water out. So that is where the problem is. Now Moshe has ego. Must I bring you water out of the rock? It's not you, my friend, but God himself. You are just an instrument for God to use to bring the water out. God says, speak to the rock, not hit the rock. It's a specific instruction. He said, what is the difference between speaking and striking the rock as far as the water cover? That is it. The end result is water. But that is not the instruction. The instruction of God is specific. And that is what we are having also this morning about the what? The cow that must be killed. He said, this cow must be a red cow. He said, if this law, it doesn't even make sense. This law is one of the most mysterious command, decree in the Torah. This is the only sacrifice in the Torah that mentions a specific animal, the color of the animal. All sacrifices, it doesn't matter the color. There's no color, it doesn't matter. But this is the only one that says it must be red. And in the red, there cannot be a black, there cannot be a white, there cannot be any color, not even a single hair that is white. Oh no. If you see a white hair, it's disqualified. It will be complete from the hair to everything red. And you know how hard to get such an animal? It's hard. Very hard. And now when you get this animal must not be used. Never be used. Pure. Good. Never have any load. No, it's not used. It's just 1 year old. Right? And this is another thing we have to understand concerning this sacrifice. This sacrifice is very strange. This is the only sacrifice that is done outside of the Mishkan, not inside the Mishkan. No. In the Moab. No. It's outside. And that is 2. Number 3, this is the only sacrifice that the blood is not taken. Unlike the other one, when they slaughter it, they take the blood. The animal has to be burned with the blood. You don't divide it. It has to be burned. Everything burned. The dung, the skin, everything burned. And this is the only sacrifice in the Torah that the ash has to be gathered. In the other sacrifices, the ash has to be gathered and be thrown away. But this one, no, has to be gathered for safekeeping. You don't throw it away. So it's a strange kind of a sacrifice that we don't understand. But God says it is for the cleansing. Right? But what is for the cleansing? The cleansing is to cleanse someone that has a contact with the cup, that has a contact with the dead body, or in whose home there is a dead body, to cleanse the person. But the man, the priest, who do this sacrifice, who is holy, who is clean, I will use the word clean, become contaminated by touching it. Right? And the person that they use this water for become clean. Now, where's the sense? I don't understand what is going on here. Can you explain? God said, I cannot explain. When the time comes, I will let you know. Okay, so let's continue. The confrontation with the Edomites, battle against the Canaanites and the Amorites, the plague of the snake, the trouble of the children of Israel in the wilderness, and their arrival at their final destination before the entrance to the land of Israel, the plain of Moab opposite the Jordan near Jericho. This is all in the Parsha Hukkat. You can see when Israel was wanted to do what? To pass through the land of the Edomites. The Edomites said, no, we don't want to see you. Get out. Right? Moshe sent an emissary. Moshe said, please let me pass. Through what? Through the king's way. Not through any other land. Through the king's way. And we will not touch anything. Okay? Anything that we touch, we will pay. We will pay you money. Don't worry. But we don't want to touch anything. Or in case we touch anything, I will pay you. Just let us pass through because it is very close. If we pass through, our land is very close. I'm not going to do anything against you. Just want to pass through. And the Edomite refused. He said, no, you will not pass. And Moshe, as a man, become angry. Right? The elder become angry. Oh, no. Let us fight against them. We can destroy them, which is normal. Of course, they can destroy them. He said, let us fight against them. And God intervened immediately. God said, no, you cannot fight against your brother. Edom is Esau. You cannot share the blood of your brother. It doesn't make sense. What is wrong with you? You want to fight against the same papa, the same mama? You are of the same father, the same mama. You cannot fight against, you are the same blood. No fight. Go to the other side. Go around and go to your land. Do not touch them. because you are what? Brothers. You cannot do that. Remember, this is always to tell us that the Torah is consistent. Always consistent. That will take you all the way back to Bereshit. To who? To Cain and Abel. You know? You need to understand that. God said, Cain, where is Abel? Where is your brother? I don't know. This is what my business about my brother. But he killed him, eh? I don't give a damn. My hand is clean, you see? My hand is clean. I didn't do anything wrong. And God said, oh, why is the blood crying? The blood that you shed, the earth that swallowed your brother's blood is crying. What is wrong with you? This is your blood brother that you killed. And God said, you cannot repeat that. We, the Israelites, cannot repeat that. Can't do that. It's your brothers. We are blood brothers. We shall not share the blood of our brothers. You cannot share the blood of your brothers. Leave them in the hands of God. When the time comes, they will receive their own judgment. So, and that is what we see. And the victory of the children of Israel over all the Canaanites land. So, let us now deep down. All these are what? Just summary. We are going right now into the Parshot. The cow shall be born in his sight, in the sight of Eleazar the Kohen. He, flesh and blood shall be born. In the book of Numbers, Bamidbar chapter 19, verse 5. Right? So, as I've already explained, that why did God give us, as Sage said, why did God give us this law? This law was given to us as a forgiveness of our sin. So what sin? Remember that we commit a sin of the golden calf. Kinds for kind. Kind for kind. Which means the same animal for the same animal. Now it means we worship the golden calf, and God said, you shall use this red cow as a what? As a forgiveness. Remember, God gave us the Mishkan as a forgiveness of our sin. I am in your midst, says the Lord. I am your God. I am in your midst. So God gave us Mishkan as the forgiveness of our sin, for the sin of the golden calf. And God is saying, you shall sacrifice this for this. Balancing. You need to understand. Everything is balanced. And just before I forget, something just came out to my mind now. Remember, in the Torah, we have two Parashah in the entire Torah that is named after a foreigner. It's never named after an Israelite. We have Parashah Yitro, and we have Parashah Balak. Everything is balanced. Balak is a negative one. Yitro is a positive one. You need to understand, the positive and the negative was always balanced. Everything is always balanced in the sight of God. If it is not balanced, it will never work. The formula will never work. It has to be balanced for the formula to work. So, let's continue. The sanctuary is the symbol of God's forgiveness. It is a sign that we have been forgiven for our sin, which we sin, the sin of the golden calf. It is a symbol of God's free and inexhaustible measure of forgiveness. And remember, I told us that we can never measure the depth of the love of God. It is what? Impossible to measure. Neither can we look at how high His glory is. We have no idea. You know, we can't measure it. It's immeasurable. The love of God towards you, the love of God towards me, the love of God towards His creation is immeasurable. It's immense. And we have to understand that God, the God of creation, loved all His creation equally. So to continue, how did our healing comes to us? How did this healing come to us? It came to us through the mitzvah of the red heifer, through the mitzvah of the para adamah, the little red cow, the mysterious right that no one can challenge because it is a decree. You can't challenge it. You can't say, God, please come explain to me before I do it. God say, no, I have no time to explain to you now, or I'm not going to explain to you now. Just do exactly what you are commanded. This commandment is especially holy because it was given to us in the form of a divine kiss in Avodah Zarah 35a, intimate and secret. This law was given to Israel as a result of God is a spiritual kiss, as a measure of a father or a mother or a parent embracing their children and kissing them. Say, I love you. I know you did wrong. I know you did what is not bad, or what is bad, but I've forgiven you. I still love you, for you are my children. And this is an eternal one. So anyone that come and tell you, because I have heard, in many other religion, in some other religion, I have heard a lot of strange things that say, hey, you know what? God has changed his mind. Suddenly, God changed his mind. And now, God does not love the Israelites. God has forsaken them. God has thrown them away into the garbage. Like in your computer, you want to delete. You take something, delete, you put in the garbage. They say God has deleted the Israelites and put them in the garbage bin. He's no longer interested in them. It's a garbage. So now we are the one that God loves. We are the Gentiles that God loves. God loves. Don't get me wrong. God loves everybody. I'm not saying that God does not love everybody. No, but God can never, ever, and I say ever, ever reject his firstborn. That will never happen. Israel is the firstborn of God. And God loved his firstborn forever to eternity. He said, this is the decree. It's an eternal one. And the covenant that we make on Mount Sinai, on high Sinai, is an eternal covenant. It does not have a beginning, it does not have an end. God has chosen the people. As I'm going to bless them, I'm going to keep them, I'm going to prosper them. As far as they follow the Torah, a problem. So somebody coming and telling you, oh, no, don't forget about the Torah. The Torah is the old. They call it Old Testament. It's the garbage. Now we have the New Testament. We have something that is new, fantastic and good. So you follow the new one, but the Torah, remove it. So if you destroy the foundation, how can the house stand? But the foundation is the Torah. No? You say, no, I want to erase the foundation. I don't even know how they think in their mind. I have no understanding. You remove the foundation and you say your house will stand. Okay, good luck. And good luck to that if your house will stand. Okay, so let me just continue. Okay. Let the cow come and atone for the sin of the golden calf. Like to like. The mitzvah of the red cow, one of the most mysterious in the Torah, is Hukkat-Balak, which means it is a mystery and not given to humankind to understand. We are not given to understand because understanding itself may be an idol for us, which is true. If we understand it might become an idol, but it might become a tool or a trap on our own part. Remember when God told Moshe, after we sinned and the snake began to bite the people, God commanded Moshe to erect a bronze snake, right? Put it on the pole, and whosoever is bitten by the snake, by the physical snake, should look up onto the bronze snake, and that person shall be healed, right? And also, when somebody is bitten by the snake, the physical snake, they take it down to the bronze snake, the person look up, and the person is healed. And now what happened after the time of Yehoshua? They took the bronze snake and they began to worship it like God, which is not supposed to be so. It has a moment. It has a particular word. They say a particular reason. God said that you should do that. But later on they took it and they burned it. They destroyed it. You cannot do that. So that is what God is saying, that you don't understand now. Don't worry. Because if I explain to you the reason, you can turn it into a God. And then you can begin to fall again. It can be a trap against you. You don't understand it, just do exactly what I tell, or what I tell you. When the time comes, I let you understand. I explain to you what is the meaning of this. And when the Mashiach comes, we can ask him, okay, there is one Parsha they call Parsha Hukkat. Can you explain what is the meaning of the red Adamah? And God will and the Mashiach will tell us, oh, this is the purpose of the red Adamah when the time comes. Okay? So, let's see. This commandment is especially, as I said, the mystery, just a minute. The mystery is how the ash purifies those who have become contaminated. Yet, those who take part in its preparation become contaminated. It is a kind of koan, which means it is paradoxical or it is an anecdote, or a kind of a riddle without a solution. It's a riddle that we don't even understand. We cannot explain why is it so. For isn't it true that something that seems so polluting, so contaminating, may ultimately be salvational, purifying, and holy? Out of darkness comes what? Comes the light. In the book of Bereshit, the Lord God said, "Let there be light," and the light came out of darkness. The darkness does not come out of the light. The light comes out of darkness. It's funny, eh? Sometimes you don't understand. Just like what I want to say, their both name is Samuel, right? Good. And Samuel is what? Samuel is the great-great-grandson of Korah. And who is Korah? Korah was an evil man, very bad man. Korah was a darkness. But out of darkness came Samuel. Out of that darkness came a man, Samuel, who is a leader, who is a prophet of his people. See, sometimes we don't understand, but God said, don't worry, you will understand when the time comes. Now, you look, God, why are you doing this? God, I'm in pain. God, I'm in this trouble. God, why are you not saving me? God, why are you not rescuing me? God is telling you, wait, everything has a time. At the right time, you shall see my hand. I know, I understand, as a human being, our flesh cannot take pain. I understand that. Because as a human being, we are limited. We have time. We want it now. We want everything great and wonderful now. But God is saying, wait. At the right time. When the time comes, you will see my hands. And he said, cannot the holy emerge out of the unholy? Is a question. The good out of the bad, just like Korah and Samuel. The glory out of defeat. Joy out of despair. Cannot all of us search our experience? For that which has saved us, imagine directly out of that which almost overcame us? It's a question. Can we not search our experience and see that in most of the case, what nearly destroy us, what nearly overcame us, what nearly consumed us, in that process, God brings a miracle and we are saved. Right? Like one of my friends said, and the two trucks jammed him together. Two heavy truck, it was in the middle, and his waist, he doesn't even know how he got the strength. A truck, nearly like 5 tons or 7 tons. How can you push a truck and people came to push the truck and rescue you out? It's unimaginable. Sometimes when you are in distress, you just get some kind of, like, as if you have become a Superman. You see, the adrenaline begins to rush in your blood. So you do something that you don't even imagine that in the normal eyes, you can't do it. So this is what God is saying. And I will empower you, I will save you. You see, we have to understand that out of darkness comes the light. And sometimes, it's hard to say, out of light and comes sometimes darkness. Remember, the Torah always say, everything is balanced. Which I keep on giving an example every day. That is a symbol of a country they call yin yang. Or yin yang, or yin yang. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a circle like this with some. You see, there's one part that is dark and the other part that is white. And in the white, there's a little black. And in the black, there's a little white. It's a very old ancient symbol. Very old. And that is a knowledge that the wise men were saying everything is possibility. The law, the principle of possibility. In mathematics, we have what's called possibility. It's a law of possibility. In quantum physics, they said if a quasi is And if it's right in the end of the universe, and the same quasi is here. If this quasi move exactly the same time, exactly the same second, exactly the one at the end of the universe move at the same time. It's like the same, it's like the person that direct the song. Yeah, it's just exactly like that. Where is the connection before the one here and the one at the end of the universe? How do they connect? Only God knows. It's a mystery that physics can't explain yet. We need to understand that everything is possibility. We need to have that in our mind. Everything is balanced in nature. In the world, if it's not balanced, it will never exist. If you look at if you put the spine of your hand from here to here, right? If I do like this, it's the same height from here to here. Same. It has to be balanced. But if you see somebody that one of the hand is like this and the other one is like this, you see them, they do what? They disbalance. They cannot balance up. They cannot stand erect, and it is not balanced. Those that are born with defect, right? It's not balanced. Or people that have a hunchback. So we need to understand God is giving us the understanding. All things in nature is balanced. When you come to the table with great sadness, feel the possibility of joy rising out of that sadness. That's what God is saying. If you feel so sad, you think, that is the end. There's nothing else I can do. God is saying, no. Do not condemn yourself. Do not say this is your end. This is not your end. This is the beginning. You are just starting. The joy is just coming forth. Do not condemn yourself that this is the end of me. No. God is saying it is not your end. It is the beginning of your greatness. It's the beginning of your joy. If a man does not go to the bottom, he can never rise. You need to understand that. In the bottom, you can see up and you can see the light. In the bottom, you can rise up. It says, know the willingness of darkness to yield to light. Darkness will always yield to the light, is the law. As the law of God. Darkness will always yield to light. Remember the potential of success to erupt out of defeat. When you think that you are being defeated, that is when your success is at hand. You just need to stand firm. You need to stand right and say, I'm going to succeed. When you think that this is the end, God is saying, no, that's not the end. You are just starting up. As Rabbi Yohanan said, it is not the corpse that contaminate or the ashes that purify. These are the laws of God. And in the laws of God, often that which contaminate ultimately purify. And out of great darkness comes the light. That's what Rabbi Yohanan said. He said, in the laws of God, it is not about the ashes. It is not about the cow itself. It's not about the red heifer. No, everything is in the mind. I was trying to tell us the positivity of the mind. Once you have the mind of positive, you will always have positivity in your life. If your mind is negative, oh my friend, no, you don't need no miracle in the world that will bring positivity in your life. No miracle. Because your life, your mind is filled with negativity. You will always attract negative. But that's the state of your mind. But if your mind is positive, believe you me, everything you do will be positive. Because your mind is positive. Everything is the state of mind. And God was trying to teach the Israelites that. You were a slave in Egypt. You have to change your mentality. You have to change your mind. You're no longer a slave. Now you're a free man. You have to live on your own. You have to do everything on your own. You don't have no master to dictate to you. You have to dictate for yourself. Your life is in your hand. You have to do everything by yourself now. You have to change your way of thinking. You have to change our ways of mind. Everything has to be balanced. And so, out of darkness will come the light. And the light will come into our life. This is the principle of the red heifer. It is the principle of possibility. it is written on the walls of your heart. Do not despair. The principle of possibility. Everything is written in our heart, in our mind. We just have to stand up and say, God, I choose positivity. God, I choose the Torah. God, I choose what is good. For God said, you shall choose life, for life is good. Choose life, and you will live. And when you choose life, God is talking about choosing the Torah. Once you choose the Torah, you choose life, and you will live eternal life. For Torah is the spring water, the eternal water that springs out of the belly, that never ends. Torah is the bread of life, that when you eat, you will never go hungry again. Parshot, Hukkat and Balak, the principle of possibility. Shabbat Shalom.